Hey everybody, Brooks with Drag Times here. So I just landed in Las Vegas. I'm out here to drive the new Ford Shelby Mustang GT500, the 2020. As I said before, my order got delayed by a couple months, but I'm out here in Vegas to take it around the road course and the drag strip. Of course, I need a car to get out there, so Ford didn't give me a car, but Diplomat Exotic Rentals hooked me up. So we got choices here. We got some of the inventory. They got this LP 580 Huracan Spider. We got a Ferrari, there's a Nissan GTR. Back over there, there's an Aventador Roadster S. Now let's see you take the top off in less than 5 minutes. All right, so I think I've made my choice. The Huracan I have, and I don't have a Spider, but I want something with a top down. What I haven't driven yet is this thing right up here. Of course, McLaren, there we go. We got a 570S Spider. All right, so here's my ride for the weekend. We got the Sicilian Yellow, I think that's what it's called, McLaren 570S Spider. Diplomat, what a hookup for these guys, huh? All right, so I just made it out to the GT500 event. They got a GT500 turned up on its side. And just a side note, today we're doing the road course, the drag strip, and some other things. Let's check out the underside of this GT500 and see what we got. All right, so here we go. We're underneath. You can see all the details are going underneath here. We got the splitter, some of the brake ducts. Looks like plastic engine oil cooler, transmission cooler down here. What do we got here? Oh, it's got Magna Ride, so it's probably got adjustable suspension on here. Stainless steel manifolds. If you can see up in here, we got the cats. Looks like some definitely weight savings if we switched out some of these cats. 16.5-inch vented calipers down here. Not carbon ceramic. For 100 grand, what do you think? You think we should get the carbon ceramic? We got the DCT transmission. Towards the back here, we got the dual fuel tanks. It says lightweight control arms, counterwound spring sprockets, the torsion differential, rear axle sensor, oil pump, and the rear axle cooler back here. 4-mode active valved exhaust. I've seen this on some of the other Mustangs where you can actually have a lot of different modes if you want to be really loud and obnoxious or keep the car kind of quiet. Pretty cool to see all underneath the car. So for drag racing, let's take a look at some of the beefy components back here. Look at the size of these half shafts right here. That is a pretty serious half shaft. Wow. No bracket for the diff. We'll have to see how the DCT handles the launches. I know you can adjust the launch control too. So here we got some of the internals workings of the 7-speed dual clutch. Kind of a pretty small transmission, small package you got here. Over here we got the internal workings of the blower or supercharger on the top here. I don't know if we can move this or not. No, that's kind of stuck.
Yes, there is. That I would say is.
That's a heavy piece right there. I imagine we'll be changing the pulley out on this pretty quickly, get some more boost out of it. Here are the 3 different wing options you have. You got the standard wing, which is the non-track pack, and then you can attach a gurney flap to add another couple 100 pounds of downforce onto the standard wing, and then another couple 100 pounds of downforce added if you get this carbon fiber track pack wing, which is actually adjustable right down here. So you got 2 adjustments here, and then also on the standard wing you also got 2 adjustments because you can remove the gurney flap with a couple of bolts right there. Over here we got the air box, big air filter inside here, heat exchanger over here. We got these forged aluminum pistons here. This is actually very, very light. Nice piece. Up here they got to cut away the front bumper, showing a lot of the massive cooling infrastructure in here to cool this car down. There are some huge radiators inside there. Let's walk around the back as well. Alright, so I'm out here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway at the drag strip. We're doing drag racing runs with the GT500s. Unfortunately, they're not lighting up the timing boards. I just did 2 passes. They're not even letting cameras in the car. So it's really hard to get some data on what these cars are actually running. Of course, DA, you know, this track's at altitude, so you're not getting the best times anyways. That might be part of the reason. But the cars do sound great. We got some clips here. I'm going to show you these cars coming off the line launching, only coming off at about 1,500 RPM, and it's spinning even so. The dual clutch transmission launch control sounds really similar to my Ford GT. It's got like a two-step feel, so it goes da, 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 and then comes off. But even at only 1,500 RPM, these cars are spinning, and the RPMs can come much higher too. You can adjust the RPMs up and down. So with the line lock on in the Burnout, the car definitely came off better. You didn't hear that spinning and hopping you heard on some of the other runs there.
Ready?
Yep.
Good, you're gonna go in this blue one right here. Yep.
All right, getting ready to do a hot lap with the Pro Driver in the GT500. Man, we're up. Oh yeah, it hangs really good.
All right, a little bit of brake. Get her down. Get her down. Look for the green apex code. There we go. Good. Get it over here. Get it over here. Breakity, breakity, breakity. Really a lane turn in here. Get it down. Get it down. There we go. There we go. Unwind the wheel. Down to the apex here.
Oh yeah, it sticks good.
Wind the wheel and away we go. Real slow speed corners here. Just kind of gently a maintenance throttle here. Kind of keep it over here. So we're about 3/4 of the way around this corner. Okay.
Yeah.
Get it down, get it down. Flip the apex. Get it over here to the left. Get it down here. And get down the front straight. We go.
Traction all the way off?
Oh yeah, we have traction all the way. Get it down, and be patient. A little hard to get videos.
Oh yeah. That's the fun part.
Yeah, there you go.
Push it all you want, I'm good. How many laps was that? 2? 2.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, so that's a wrap of my experience here, the track day with the Mustang Shelby GT500. I gotta say, first off with the handling, I was whipping around this track really, really fast, and it's very predictable and fast. I mean, that thing coming out of the corners was barreling down. I actually lost control a couple times. Unfortunately, they weren't allowing cameras in the car, so I wish I could have that for you for when I was driving the car, as well as at the drag strip. Of course, we're in Vegas, so the DA is pretty high. I'm not sure whether they didn't want the numbers to show based on people's experience. They kind of mentioned they were running the time boards earlier in the week, and I've actually talked to some people who are actually running those times. So as you'll probably see in some other videos, because other people who were here earlier in the week were actually allowed to drag race that car and get the actual times. The car was running into the 10s, I believe 10.6 or 10.7. Ford is actually saying that it runs under 11 seconds at the board. I took a picture of that. So I think based on, you know, the weather here, South Florida, DA on a cool night, this car with some good tires, you can raise the RPMs up a bunch. I think we'll probably run in the mid-10s in this car pretty consistently. Of course, the spec behind me is pretty much what I'm getting. This is the grabber green with the black stripes. They offer painted stripes for another $10,000. I did not opt for the painted stripes. The only difference is, well, besides them being painted, is actually the vinyl doesn't go all the way to the edge. So that's kind of a bummer that they didn't wrap it around, but that's the way you'll be able to tell right away if the car has painted or vinyl stripes. But this grabber green looks badass. I'm super excited to get the car. My build date was pushed back to sometime in December, so hopefully that build date sticks and I get the GT500 as soon as possible. So as you saw in some of those drag racing videos, the track prep wasn't there, and they weren't allowing everyone to use the line lock to heat up the tires, and the car's just spinning and hopping all down the track. I was talking to the prep guy, and he said the prep was there. I walked across it, and it was not sticky at all. But they did get one of the passengers, or one of the instructors, to do a burnout using the line lock. It did a really nice burnout. I'm going to show that to you. And then after that, I got a video of the drag racing after that, and the car definitely hooked. Now, they were only coming off at 1600 RPM, and that's probably to keep people from just going off the track and spinning too much. There's a lot of amateur drivers out here who have actually never driven the quarter mile, so they didn't want those people wrecking. And since it wasn't sticking, there was no point in me raising up the RPM anyways. We also did some hot laps with a pro driver around the course, and the thing was very, very impressive. I've been in a lot of cars around the track with pro drivers. The Mustang was bullying out of the corners really, really hard, and it kind of felt like it had more in it too. I don't think he was quite pushing it that hard. There were some other cars on the track as well, but I was able to get some footage kind of whipping the GT500 around the racetrack with the pro driver. All right, well, that's a wrap on my GT500 day here. I'm sorry I wasn't able to give you all the data that I wanted. I mean, I brought everything out here. I got my V-Box, I got the Draggy, I got multiple GoPros, I got exhaust microphones, but unfortunately it was just too jam-packed. They weren't allowing in-car filming today, and so it is what it is. This is our experience out here with the GT500. Alright, so Mike and I just finished up with the Shelby Mustang GT500 event. Yep. I'm in the McLaren 570S that Diplomat loaned me, and of course, I can't get in a car without testing it, so I'm going to give him a ride back. We got the Draggy set up right here, and I know it's not going to be great, but let's see what the Spider does. Yeah, according to 60 quarter mile. Quarter I'm used to, yeah. So we got passenger in the car, and it's super windy. We'll have to choose the right direction. Very windy, it must be like 25-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah, and it's going to get worse too. It's going to get worse, yeah. And then let's just see what it does down the desert highway. We're kind of near the Air Force Base, so we should have some good roads here. Let's check it out. Yep. All right, here we go. Got the Draggy app. 578, go. You ready? Oh, hold on. Oh, active. Oh, shit. Good job, Brooks. Just turn the damn car up. 570. I'm like, oh no. Launch. Yeah, a lot of spin.
60.
There we go, we finally hooking. All right, so we just finished dragging the 570. What'd you think?
I mean, it's fast.
It's fast.
Definitely not a
It's
slouch.
moving. Yeah, it was spinning all, I think first, second, maybe part of third gear.
Yeah.
I think it was all over the road. We ran it up pretty fast. I think best quarter mile was like 11.2. You'll see it in the draggy thing where you saw it already.
Extremely windy outside.
It's very windy, 2 passengers, and I just remembered, California only has 91 fuel, so plus the DA of Las Vegas, that's not doing very well for performance, but it is what it is.
Still having fun though.
Still having fun, and thanks a lot to Diplomat for loaning me the car for the weekend.